Well, I'm in a sweatshirt. Fall has finally decided to show up. So maybe that means there'll be some deer movement. But this video, it's not about the deer. This is about, if I can get it up here, slingshots. So this is the Barnett Black Widow king rat. So I have never really been that much of a slingshot guy. Honestly, never had one. Even as a kid, I don't think I had one. But this thing's pretty sweet. And we just had a festival here at our house where we set up. You'll see it in the background. Haven't got them all down yet, but a bunch of games for kids to just come out, hang out, and have fun, right? And that's the idea, is just to get kids outside, have a good time with their friends, their family, and just have fun, right? Hang out, eat donuts. I put like a basketball arcade game outside, and we put foosball outside. Just everyone's outside, hanging around, having a good time, riding quads and go-karts. You know, we used to do tractor rides back when we had a tractor available to us. But we put up apple slingshots. I know a local apple farmer who lets me go pick up the dropped apples. So we'll go and pick up a huge bin of dropped apples that have fallen on the ground and aren't good to him. And then, you know, those giant, like 3-person slingshots, we put those up. But all that to say, the big hit this year was none of that stuff. The big hit was these slingshots. So let's talk about it. So I'm also checking the hunting blind here for bees. Of course, there's a million of these stupid stink bugs, but just got to check for bees or other creatures before we start hunting in here. I had a couple wasp nests get built in here over the years, so got to watch out for that. So let's just start with kind of a simple review of it, right? Let's start with that and see my thoughts on it, I guess, as someone who, sorry, I don't have a holder there. Let's start with just my thoughts on it, from just, I guess, let's say an aesthetics viewpoint, right? The colors are sweet. Red and black are actually like my favorite colors. Red Wings fan for life. So obviously they're red and white, but back when I was a kid, they had like these alternate uniforms that you could buy. I don't know if they actually wore them, but they had black too. And I had a black and white Red Wings uniform too. And those are pretty sweet, right? Or should I say jersey? But anyways, love the color, love the logo. One thing Barnett seems to do really well with everything is like their graphic design, or their whether that's their packaging or the actual product. Really good with the colors and the logos, and I mean, it just looks like something you would want to buy, right? So let's talk about the features. It has this folding wrist support, right? So you're gonna put your hand through there, which if you don't really use slingshots, that might take you a second to figure out, and then you're gonna hang on. If you are, let's say, someone with bigger arms, right? Mine aren't huge, but you know, I have obviously a bigger wrist than my wife. This pushes down, and you can see you almost fight it a little bit with your hand. So that's something to learn. You can actually kind of hurt your forearm there. But you learn that when you pull it back, you use your hand strength. Don't rely on this. This does help stabilize it, but if you just rely on that to like hold all of that tension, you're gonna hurt your arm there. So that was a little bit of a learning curve, but you could see once you learn how to hold your arm, it's no problem. And it's nice that folds away for storage. I actually shoved this in my pocket yesterday and was just walking around with it, which is pretty neat. It's got a leather pouch here with a little hole. You can see that. It helps you just kind of know where to put the ammo, right? The ammo that it comes with, the steel ammo, is really nice. But also, you can get the clay slingshot balls, which I like because then they just disintegrate on their own in the rain, or, you know, but they're not so weak that they break if you miss. So I'll show a little bit here in a second of us shooting at the target, and I put a tarp behind it, and it'll hit the tarp if you miss, and it won't necessarily break, so then you can reuse it. So we were able to collect, when we had that party, we were able to collect, I mean, hundreds of shots that we missed and use them multiple times. So, you know, all those people that were there, we didn't even go through a whole bin of 650 shots because we could keep reusing them. Now, the design is really cool. When you shoot, you don't want to shoot straight up. You do actually kind of want to angle a little bit, and that'll give you the best accuracy. Now they do, if you can see it there, there is a light gathering, like fiber optic sight. I tend not to use that myself personally. I tend to just kind of look, you know, right down at where I'm shooting to the best of my ability. Now some of their other models actually have sights up on the arms. I think that's a little more accurate personally. But it's there if you want to learn how to use it, right? I just like looking down my string, if you want to call it that. Sling? I guess look down the sling. But very, very surprised, guys. I've seen these for like $19, and man, are they a blast. So you can buy like, well, there's another brand. Is it Daisy? I have not been impressed with their actual sling part, whereas this part has been really, really cool. So it works really well. Very, very impressed, guys. If you are thinking about if you want to pick one of these up, it does remind me a lot of like the Demons, right? When you just want to go out and shoot something, but you don't want to shoot the whole crossbow. Really fun, really cool. Again, I can use this, kids can use this. You know, if you feel the need, wear eye protection, because sometimes it does bounce back, like if your target's too close. So be careful of that. But man, how much fun are these? And guys, it's your typical, from what I've seen from Barnett, it's just good quality. You know, even, I don't know if you can hear that, but when you flip this handle down, just listen. It actually kind of locks into place. So it's not loose. See that? It's not loose. It's got a little groove right there that it clicks into. I mean, just little things like that. That's what I'm looking for out of a company, right? You could have easily not done that, made it so it didn't click in, and it could have been kind of loose, and then the user, you know, is fighting with it more. But no, they made it so that it clicks into place. Just really, really cool. Even putting the little cut hole there for you to put your ball in, really, really nice. Very, very impressed, guys. And it was super nice of Barnett to send those for the Fall Fest, right? I didn't have to have those, but man, they were the hit of the Fall Festival. Now, those came with their own steel balls, which are nice, but then when you miss or you lose them, you got a steel ball laying around your yard. These biodegradable clay slingshot balls, guys, this is where it's at. If you're gonna get one of these slingshots, pick yourself up some of these. We have been shooting this for days and days and days. One, again, nice container, right? It doesn't just pop on, it actually screws on. Thank you for that. But let me see if I can get some out here. Ooh, there's actually a couple steel ones in here left over. So let me see if I can if I could get some of them out to show you. So the steel BBs that come with it are actually a little smaller, which is okay, but I found they tend to disappear in the grass a lot easier. There we go. So these clay ones. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but they're almost like a off-white, like a beige. Surprisingly really easy to find in the grass or in the dirt. You would think it would blend in more, but it was easier to find these than the steel one, which you would think this is shiny, but they just hid better. So these clay ones are super cool. And like I said before, they don't just break. Now, like if you hit wood or something hard, yeah, they're gonna break. So half the fun of it was we put up these pizza pans, right? And they'd shoot and then they'd shatter when they hit the pizza pan. And that's just cool, right? Where the metal ones, they hit and they go ting. Well, these still go ting, but then they shatter. So, you know, kids like things exploding. Grown men like things exploding. So that was really, really cool. And like I've been saying, if you missed and it hit the tarp, you just got to pick them up and use them again. So really, really cool. And as you can see, you have that little hole there. So it goes right in there, and then you can just pinch it, right? And, you know, it's just fun. If you aren't having fun shooting a slingshot, you're not doing something right. Because they're just fun. I don't care who you are. My wife had a blast. I left that game up so that we can keep playing it for weeks, because it's just fun, right? You go out, you just plink around. So really, really cool. They have numerous ones of these. They've got more in-depth ones with better sights. If you're just looking for a basic one, I think they have one even a little bit lower than this that does not have this. My advice, probably get one that has this, and then, you know, figure out how to hold it so it doesn't hurt your forearm. I'd love to eventually get one that it's a little wider, it's got the sights on it, and it's more for like hunting, right? I think you could do some damage with this, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to, you could get some squirrels, and I bet you could get a rabbit with it. It shoots fast enough. Not advising that you try that, but I think you probably could, if that's allowed in your area. But kind of a different video here, but just a really, really cool thing. Like, especially if you're thinking Christmas, you could set something up outside in the winter and get your kids outside shooting these things. Just really cool. It's just cool and fun, and just, you know, obviously be careful, because they are a weapon of sorts and can be dangerous. So, you know, supervise them. Make sure that, you know, if it's kids, supervise them. If it's an adult, hopefully they know better on their own, right? But if you got kids using these, definitely keep an eye on them. Teach them the right way to do things, as with any weapon. Teach them the right way so they know how to do it. And then everyone can just have a blast, because they are so much fun. They're just so much fun, guys. Thanks for checking it out. We'll catch you on the next one.